My squad, what's going on? This is me, Captain Vibes. We live action. You already know what it is. Here to bring you yet another Bleach review this week. Now, of course, this is Bleach chapter 572, titled The Blaster. Look, with this chapter, my mind was all over the place as far as the events that was taking place in this week's chapter of Bleach. It's like, damn, where the hell do I start? First thing first, we see Ichiro. She's doing her little dance with her spirits and whatnot. And she thought she cut Star Knight V in half, but we see he's alive. And I called that in the last chapter review of mine, but we all knew that was going to take place. We all knew he wasn't going to die from just one slash of a Shikai from Ichiro. Not to say Ichiro was weak, but come on now. And but we see the damage he's taking, and we see the damage on the ground, the environmental damage, and it kind of reminded me of when Ichigo did the Getsuga Tencho towards Byaku, and when he struck down Renji, the first time when they were fighting. Well, the second time in Soul Society. Anyway, he goes on to explain how he did dodge and how he can dodge and whatnot. But at that point, a big chunk of his body just disappears. You don't see a slash. You don't see a crater impact. You don't see a projectile fired at him. It just disappeared. And we are introduced to yet another new Star Knight. He's sitting on the bed of Kensei next to Rose while they're being treated by Sane. But the thing is, this guy, alright, his ability, he can just make thoughts come to reality. I mean, imagination is his greatest weapon. So, I don't know if he was insulting Star Knight V or he was telling some truth to this matter, how he was saying, like, look, you're a part of my imagination. Like, I thought of you, I created you and whatnot. But we see he charges at this new Star Knight. Star Knight V charges at him. And it was just like, bam. He just makes him just disappear slash explode. You see an eyeball, blood, guts, everything just go everywhere. So with him sitting on the bed, Asane tells him to get off the bed, and he said, oh, these officers, you want me to get away from them? And the crazy thing is, how he just said, oh, I killed them anyway. When I said, wait a minute. I literally I stayed on that page and said, I know I did not just read what I just read. But I was hunting down other translations, other people's thoughts. I'm thinking like, wait a minute. Did this motivator just kill Kensei and Rose like that? Like that. Not only did they get punked, some of you feel they didn't get punked, but not only did they get punked, but they died on their hospital bed. It seems like it is very clear and evident that Kubo, he's just starting to care less and less and less about these viruses, if he still cares at all. I mean, we see Shinji's down, Kensei and Rose is dead. What the hell is up with Love and Hiyori and Hachi? I mean, I just couldn't believe it. I never would have thought they would die like this. Now, some people would say, okay, it's messed up how they died. Kubo, bad writer, he did this, he did that. However, that's the funny thing. Some people were mad that they were alive or being treated, because when Superstar shot that beam in Rose's chest, people think like, good, he's dead. But then they found out he was going to live. People are, oh man, there go Kubo again. Make it look like a character's going to die, and then he lives. People was mad about that. Now I notice now that it's confirmed that he's dead, people are mad about that. So it's like, damn, which one is it, everybody? Do you want a motivator to live, or do you want them to die? But I think the main issue is this, is how they died. I mean, and how did he kill them? Did he just think about them dying and they just died like that? Something had to be done. So, anyway, at that point, you see Ichiro, she goes to swing at him. He dodges it. Of course, grabs her wrist. You see her Zanpakuto drop. But the thing is, her bones, her arms start to just break. And he goes on to talk about, hey, bones break easy like cookies. Hey, you think about them being break by cookies? Hey, they're just going to break easy like that. And at that point, you see that's when everything just is falling apart. Isane's worried, 2 captains dead, a Star Knight is dead, Ichiro is down, her ability isn't working anymore, and out of nowhere, bam, big hole in the wall, you see my boy Kenpachi, he's back into the mix and ready to go. And that's basically the end of the chapter, but my thing is this. This chapter, based off the comments, it received a lot of mixed thoughts and feelings and reviews, scores, because of this right here. People were saying this new character, this new Star Knight, he has a hacked, broken, ability. It's very cheap and overpowered. Even though I find that funny because there are a lot of other characters in other series that have other way more powerful and broken abilities than that, but they praise them characters. But I see, since it's a Bleach character or it's a Quincy, you know, a lot of people don't really like the Quincy's, then it's a big issue. I found that to be very funny. And there are other characters who can do exactly what he can, I swear. But this is the thing: pump your brakes, everybody, and reserve your judgment. I can't stress it enough. I say it so many times in my reviews: reserve your judgment. Think about it. There has to be a weakness to that ability. It has to be, and there has to be a limitation to that ability. Just think about it. He can just think up anything and then it happen. So if that's the case, you know, when he see Kenpachi, oh, another Soul Reaper, I'm gonna think of you dead, or I'm gonna think of you with no arms, or I'm gonna think of your Zanpakuto turning into just water. No, I think there's a limit to it, because I never heard nobody say, I didn't read not one comment saying, uh-oh, Kenpachi's in trouble, this guy can think of anything, Kenpachi's gonna get laid out. I didn't see that. And another thing I've read was, somebody thinks that all of this is just the imagination of this new Star Knight character, because they were saying they think Star Knight V is just the imagination of this new Star Knight. And the thing is, he's so, like, just, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, he brought this imaginative person, this being, to life, and he gave him such a unique and strong ability. He was granted the rank of a Star Knight. That's what this one person thought. Also, he think the whole Kensei and Rose being dead thing, he think that's just the imagination part on Isane's part, messing with her. Another thing was Kenpachi. Some people think that that's just Ichiro imagining Kenpachi coming through the wall. You know, it's been manifested and whatnot. That's all the things I'm reading. Me, I think this is the real deal of Kenpachi, and I'm going to tell you why. I said this a few chapters ago. When Kenpachi returns, I said, who is he going to fight? I clearly stated this is Kenpachi, now that he knows the name of his Zanpakuto. You know, he has the full understanding. I don't think he has Bunkai. He hasn't even started Bunkai training. Do you all know how many years it takes to achieve Bunkai? And that's not even to master. So, no, I do not think Kenpachi has a Bunkai. I keep reading that everywhere. He does not have a Bunkai. I'm going to say it one more time, everyone. He does not have a Bunkai. He has not started the training. If he has started the training, it hasn't been years since he started fighting the real Ichiro. But anyway, the Shikai, yes, he has that. So I kept saying, think about it, this is Kenpachi, he knows the name of the Shikai, full power, fully healed, you know, ready to go. What character is going to be that strong to go? What Star Knight is going to be that strong to go toe-to-toe with him besides Jurai? And I was thinking maybe, just maybe, Hashwolf. But we see before Kenpachi's training, he took out 3 Star Knights. What is it? Bernice, Jerome, and another character I forget. But the thing, I think Roy, I believe. But anyway, the thing is, we see now who Kenpachi is going to fight clearly. I mean, you got a motivator, whatever he thinks of, you know, comes to reality. It seems like that's the type of ability it's going to take to go against a fully healed, Zanpakuto name knowing Kenpachi. That's what it seems like. That's what it's going to take. But like I said, it seems like there will be a limit to this character's abilities. I honestly don't think that it's just whatever he thinks goes. It just cannot be. To me, that's when you still have to be careful with the abilities you give a character, because it could all end up with being sloppy writing, aka a sloppy battle. Another thing with this chapter people was disappointed about is the fact that it seemed that there was some predictability in this chapter. And of course, yes, I did call it. I called it, and I put it on my Facebook fan page. I called it that Kenpachi will save Ichiro. Not true enough. I never said, oh, a new Star Knight is going to come and mess up Ichiro, and then Kenpachi's going to come. No, I didn't say that. But I did say I feel Kenpachi will come and save Ichiro. It's just evident. I mean, anytime she gets hurt or in danger, Kenpachi's not having that. He's pissed off. He's going to come to the rescue. So that's another thing people was pissed off about, the predictability of that situation. And we see Star Knight V, it seemed like all he was just a character made up to give Ichiro screen time or page time, or to make a character to have a very good explanation of her Zanpakuto ability to make it seem effective. True enough, she could have went Shikai against anybody, but it wouldn't have seemed very effective. you know, against somebody who does not have Star Knight V's ability. Because Star Knight V, he said, oh, I can make myself invisible, intangible, erase myself from your memory and whatnot. She said, oh, well, I have the perfect thing that counts with that. And that's how that works. But it seemed like that's all he was set up for. Just a cannon fodder cheap character. I mean, hell, we see he's not even getting we're not even going to see his final holy form. But to be honest, with him being out of the picture, I honestly don't care. I never cared about him. He looked stupid. But his ability did interest me as well. And I would have liked to have seen how his ability would have increased, or any other new abilities if he would have activated his final holy form. But we didn't get to see that. Another thing, I'm glad that was pointed out, that I pointed out in my last chapter, was the fact that Yachiru, her Zanpakuto, even Isani said, I've never seen a Zanpakuto like this before. Like, it's not like Unohana's, and it's not like Toshiro's. You know, it's not made up of something, and it's not, you know, a living creature or whatnot. And usually that's what you think it is. That's what these Zanpakutos basically are. Especially that scene, I loved it when Zangetsu, as Ichigo was dashing, Zangetsu, he was just turning back into the Zanpakuto forming in Ichigo's hand, like with the grip. I did like that, but that's not the case with Yachiru, as we see. And I called it out. It just stayed like this. You just see the motivating spirits. That's it. But yeah, overall, man, this chapter, even though it had predictability at the end and it was messed up, Akugo just killed off the character. Even though I will say that is messed up. You know, I have to say that I take that away from the chapter. Even though, like I said, I gotta keep it real. Even though, like I said, I never cared about Star Knight V, but just the way he brought in the character just to take him out like that. And the way he did Yachiru, it's like the Yachiru hype train is gone now. I mean, for all you Yachiru fans, your big Yachiru fans, how do you feel about that? She came into the mix, finally fighting, revealed her Shikai now. That's it. And some people saying this better not happen. I'm going to wrap it up right here, Elites. Some people say this better not happen. This be like a copy and paste of the Byakuya and Rukia fight, excuse me, where Kenpachi comes in the mix, you know, and just leaves it to Yachiru, or he damages the new Star Knight and leaves it to Yachiru. But we see that's not going to happen because her bones are just, you know, her wrist all messed up. But yeah, other than that, we see this chapter offered 3 deaths, 1 villain, 2 characters, 2 good guy characters, which is messed up. If they are really dead, damn, that is messed up. Hey, this is war. You see these Quincy's are very, compared to the Espada, these Quincy's are more ruthless and bloodthirsty. But 3 character deaths, a character returning. It's just crazy, and a new character entering the mix. So with all them key factors, you could say it was a, pretty good stable chapter. But I'm just real curious about next week to see how Kenpachi is gonna go into this. But I'm calling it right now. I think it may go like this, based off the patterns that Bleach has always been known to have. And maybe he may give a little speech. You know, Kenpachi may fight this guy. This guy may jack up Kenpachi back up against the wall, and then it may end with it to be continued of Kenpachi rather doing 2 things. Realizing that that ability isn't working, just like how Rukia did with Asnod, or Kenpachi will say the name of his Zanpakuto, activating the Shikai. But that's my thoughts about Elites. Hope you enjoyed this review. Give me your thoughts, comments, and concerns. Oh man, this chapter is crazy. But yeah, I'll see you all next week. Signing out.